Hi, Colleen. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you about your business. And for those of us listening, our audience, tell us what your business is and what you do.
It's a walk in the park with Colleen, and I like to say I help to create magical memories at Disney. I help you plan your days in the park at Disney so you have fun and not stress.
Okay. I've never been to Disney, as we've discussed. Yeah. So you're talking to someone who's never been there before, but I'm sure, if you're listening, a lot of people they plan their whole year around their Disney vacation. So why does somebody need a Disney planner?
Well, there is so many things to do, and you have to be cautious and to do them in a timely manner. As I say, there's just so many things to do, and you don't need to do it all. And quite frankly, your week's vacation at Disney is not going to get you doing everything. But you want to do what's most important to you. And like the dining, the reason I say timely is those dining reservations start at 180 days. So if you have a lot of people, that little girl who must see the princesses in the castle, that's 180 days. So you're talking 6 months in advance. That's big.
Yeah. So if somebody is planning a Disney vacation, like, how do you help them? First of all, get me from point A to point Z when somebody is thinking about going to Disney, how they connect with you. And for somebody who's thinking like, I don't need someone to help me plan my Disney vacation, I'll do it myself. Why would they want to work with someone like you?
The biggest thing is time. I'm going to save them a lot of time, not just in the planning, but while they're in the parks. Also, I don't like my clients to stand in line. So there's tips, tricks, and things that you can do so you're not standing in line. So when somebody comes to me and says they're planning, my first question is, okay, have you picked a date? There's pros and cons for every date. You have people who are working obviously around children's school schedules, or maybe it's somebody's work schedule. I have a client who, landscaper, so he's busy. It's, during those spring, summer months. Also, your tax accountant people, they're not talking to you until after April 15th. But when they come to me, I see if they've booked the reservations. If not, I have several Disney travel agents that I work with that I would recommend people working with. Getting the dates picked. As soon as they get the dates picked, then we start looking at, okay, the first thing we're looking at obviously is dining, because as I had mentioned, dining starts at 180 days.
Which is something I had no idea. Like, again, you're talking to Disney newbie. Like, I would have, that was who would have known, like, you needed to plan that? And who would have known that, like, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to Disney World. I'm just going to go to like a food truck or something.
Yeah.
No?
Well, they have food trucks at Disney Springs that you can go to. And in all the parks, there's counter service, which is an option that, you can go up, stand in line, get it, and then hopefully you find a seat. But I find the table or sit down to be a lot more relaxing. First of all, you have a seat.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's in air conditioning. Okay. And we all think Florida is hot, especially, this time of the year when we're all freezing. And the other part is you get to rehydrate. That's so important, is you have to keep hydrated while you're there. Okay. So I kind of look at that as it's got a lot of pluses to it. Mm-hmm. Also, you can do some great character dining. Okay. And this way you're spending your dining time meeting and greeting with the characters instead of using the time in the parks to do that. Okay. So instead of doing that in the parks, you do it at your dining. Okay. So there you go. You've just saved yourself all kinds of time in the parks.
Okay. So when is the best time of year to go to Disney?
That depends upon what you're looking for. Okay. If you're looking for lower crowds, you're talking late January, early February. Then you get a little spurt early April, as long as Easter is not there. Beginning part of May. Summer is busy. June, July, and about through the first half of August, even though it's hot, summer is a very busy time because that's when a lot of people do vacations. Also, people aren't competing with schools that time. But the end of August, beginning of September is pretty good. Beginning part of October, as long as it's not Columbus Day. I always tell people, do not underestimate the 3-day weekends. People think, oh, great, I can go for a 3-day weekend or extended, and I only have to use, 4 vacation days instead of 5. Those are very busy, those 3 days. Whatever little holiday it is, it's very busy. Beginning in November is nice, and the beginning in December. The big thing with the beginning in December is you get to see all the Christmas decorations, and they do it in the parks, in the resorts, in the Grand Floridian. They actually build a gingerbread house store, and every 5-10 minutes it puffs out the gingerbread smell.
Oh my gosh.
So it encourages you to buy it. Yes.
Okay. So, okay. I have so many questions.
Okay, that's fine.
With Disney, tell me again, like, say I want to plan a trip to Disney and I go online and I book my flight and I buy my tickets. What's the difference between somebody who plans this trip by themselves or somebody that uses you in a walk in the park with Colleen services?
Yeah. The name came up, a walk in the park, is it's meant to be easy. I'm here to make it easy. You're saving a lot of time because, as I said, there's so many things you need to know. You could go on the website, I'm going to look, and you get to this, and you get this link to something else. You start Googling different things, and before you know it, 2-3 hours are gone. As I like to say, take this huge amount of information and bring it down to something more manageable, something you actually need. And there are people who like to go in and do the research, but I guarantee you're going to miss certain things.
Like what?
Little things. Here's an easy one that I like to say. Most people, when they go into anything, park or otherwise, what do? People go to the right. Well, you don't want to go to the right. You want to go to the left, because that way everybody else is going right. So you're having less traffic just by that. So you can get onto the rides to the left faster.
Talk to me about your efficiency. Is this where you're going, like the ride efficiency?
Yeah, the ride efficiency. There's certain rides you want to hit at certain times. There's certain ones you have to hit early. Also, Disney has an incredible program called Fast Pass, and you get automatically with your ticket into the park 3 Fast Passes. I refer to the Fast Passes as go ahead of the line tickets. Those are 3 rides that you know that you will book a specific time. There's an hour window, so it's not like you have to be there at 10. Your ticket would say 10 to 11. So obviously the rides where the lines build quickly, those are the ones that you would get the Fast Passes for. Also, being in the park first thing is very important. It's amazing. I've had several clients who have said to me they couldn't believe in the first hour and a half how much they got done.
Wow.
Yeah.
What time does the park open?
Generally speaking, the park's open at 9. Okay. During the busier times of the year, it will open at 8. Okay. Also, Disney does, as a perk for staying on site, they have extra magic hours where, because you're a guest, you can either get an hour early in the morning or you get 2 hours extra at the end of the night. So only resort guests can utilize those.
Oh, okay. So if you're staying on Disney premises. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
What is one question that when somebody is like planning a Disney vacation, what is one question that they should be asking themselves, or if they're working with you, what should they be asking you to help make this whole experience the best possible?
Basically what it is they want to accomplish. And it sounds kind of like a very generic question, but some people have that idea. They want to see how many roller coasters they can go on. Some people have no desire to go on a roller coaster. Some people want to see the shows. Some people, it's about the characters. They're more involved in the characters. So they want to get the autographs. Okay. So they have that. And also I look at it as what are your must-dos in the park? Okay. I actually have a form that I use for my clients, and it's like, okay, give me your top 3s for each park. Mm-hmm. and then the things you'd like to do and the things you don't want to do. I mean, if you have little kids, you're not taking them on Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom. That being said, you want to know which rides they can go on. There's nothing worse than creating that meltdown, which we try to avoid, where you've told your child, oh yeah, I'm going to take you on to, Space Mountain, going to take you on to, well, the height restriction, is 40 inches. I think it's 40. Maybe it's 42. But if you have a child who's only 38 inches, and you've been telling them this, they're not going on the ride. And that's for your safety. And that's where people try, well, they're just a little shorter. Well, the ride is designed to keep you safe for that height and taller.
So how did you get into planning people's Disney vacations?
It started over 20 years ago. My husband and I, we decided if we weren't able to have children, that we would take our nieces and nephews to Disney and pay for everything for them. And we sadly weren't able to have children, but our nieces and nephews have benefited from it. So we did the first trip. It was with my brother and his sons and wife. And it was a good vacation, but it wasn't great. And I thought, I've got more nieces and nephews to bring, and they deserve a great vacation at Disney. So it became a mission of mine. And trust me, that back then there wasn't as much out there on the internet like there is now. So it was a little bit harder, but found groups to join in who were big Disney people, connected with travel agents, connected with people that work at Disney or people who used to work at Disney, which are a wealth of information. And so then we just, each time it got a little bit better. Lo and behold, all of a sudden friends and family are asking for help for the trips. And I love doing it because you kind of live vicariously through them. It's like another trip to Disney for me. And then I said to my husband about 8 years, I said, I want to help people plan their time. Because the number one word that I hear from people that I talk to about planning a trip to Disney is overwhelmed. People are just overwhelmed. I had a client I sat down with about 2 weeks ago now, and we sat down just to chit chat about what I could help her with, and it was 5-10 minute maybe conversation. I could literally see the stress just coming off of her face, and that's, to me, that's magical feeling for me. That's great. I just love that.
Wow. So fast forward to today, because you said that was 20 years ago when you were planning for your nephews and nieces. So then how did a walk in the park with Colleen come to be? Was that like something that happened recently or a few years ago?
Actually, the end of this month, the 28th of March, I will be 3 years in business.
Okay, congratulations.
And thank you. And I saw that there was such a need for people to get help because people don't know. And there's a lot of people that start out, this is a once in a lifetime trip. I'm only going to take the kids once. I'm only going to go once. And that's what they plan when they first start. And I just think that first experience is so important. The kind of ironic part of everything is when I first started doing this, I started hearing all the bad stories that people had.
Okay.
Somebody said, all I did was stand in line for hours, or, went on. I had actually somebody tell me they went to a park and they only rode 2 rides the entire time.
Oh, man.
And all I could think of is, wow.
Obviously, this was someone that didn't plan with you.
No. They had not planned with me. They had gone years before. And it's like, there's tools out there. And I look at it as, I'm just another tool to help you. But I make it so you have to learn a lot less. And I'm there right from the beginning till after you get back. I have clients who call, text me, or even email me while they're at the parks. I am there with you from beginning to end. They're my family. Yeah. This is because it started because it was about family, and it's about family. My clients become my family, and I want them to have the best time.
That's amazing. How long does it take typically for you to plan someone's Disney vacation? How much time does someone need?
I recommend my clients to reach out to me 8 to 10 months in advance.
Wow.
The reason for that is that way you can break up the planning of it. So then the first thing we do, we sit down and I go to people's homes. I love to do that. If they want to meet me someplace else, that's fine. But that way we can deal with one thing at a time. Yeah. We do the first hit kind of like, okay, what is it that you're looking to accomplish? Okay, fine, great. Then we look at dining. So we deal with the dining first. Then we've got time to deal with the rides. Because so we can spread it out instead of having to hit everybody with everything at once. Yeah. And I find that is also a lot less overwhelming to people if there's only one kind of thing that they have to work with. Yeah. And that also gives time to have a little bit of play on it so that they can kind of absorb it. Because generally speaking, after the first meeting, the person is just feel like they have so much information. Mm-hmm. Well, then, as a question might come up, great, they reach out to me. And it just makes it easier with the planning to do that. That being said, I did have a client reach out to me, was doing a trip with her now husband's family, a total of 12 people, and they had planned stuff that on a schedule I never would have done. Mm-hmm. Because you had people from 2 months to age 72, and I'm like, this is crazy. You've got to have more downtime, because that's important too. Yes, I understand you're spending a lot of money to go to Disney. You want to make the most of it, but you need to also have some kind of quiet time or downtime to kind of recover. So 3 days before she was going, she reached out to me. Wow. And said, she had an itinerary that was given to her from the travel agent the family used. I did some tweaks for her. She wanted to be able to work in the park. We did. She was also nursing. So she made great use of the baby care centers at Disney. Each park has a baby care center, and baby is kind of a misnomer because you can take little toddlers into. There's a space they can sit in front of a TV just to sit down for a little bit. Mm-hmm. You have your own little space. There's also a first aid station in each park, and that can be used if you have somebody who is, say, on the spectrum, the Asperger's, and needs just a little kind of timeout, as I call it. They can go and kind of just sit in there, have their own little room, and just relax for a little bit. So you've got, someplace where you can, as a mother, go in and be nice and cool because it's air conditioned and nurse, or, you have little kids, whatever. There's a lot that Disney offers that people don't know. Yeah. Like she had no idea that there was, a baby care center. Yeah. No idea.
One thing that you explained to me when we met beforehand was there's a parade every day.
Every day, Magic Kingdom, 3:00. 3:00 every day, Magic Kingdom. If it rains, they have an abbreviated one, very abbreviated, and it is called the Rainy Day Parade.
Oh my gosh.
And they have special sign, and it's kind of neat, and I've seen that. It's just kind of a cool thing to have. Currently, that is the only one that has a regular parade, but yes. Okay.
And you want to avoid that area. If you're planning rides and activities, you want to kind of, where you come into play is you can help people get the most of their day by not by avoiding the parade area at certain times. Can you explain that?
Right, yeah. At Magic Kingdom, the way the parade route goes, if you are in Adventureland, you get landlocked. So you can't get out. So if you have a fast pass, or you're supposed to be meeting with somebody, you can't get across that parade. You're landlocked, so you're stuck. So that's one of the things I try to get my clients all done with Adventureland, the beginning part of the day, so we don't take that risk of being landlocked. Mm-hmm.
Smart. Yeah. How many times have you been to Disney?
Actually, I'm about to hit 30
for
Disney World. I have also been to Disneyland in California once, and I'll probably have another trip out there within the next year because they've gotten a lot of new things going out there. And I also have been to Disneyland Paris once. The next is the trip to the Orient to hit the 3 Disney parks there.
Wow. So do you go to, how many times a year do you go to Disney now?
Generally speaking, it's 2 times a year.
Does it get old?
It doesn't. There's always something new, whether it is a ride, a restaurant, or over at Epcot, they do incredible festivals. Like tomorrow starts the Flower and Garden Festival. And if you want to talk color, it is just, pictures don't do it justice.
How do you know so much about it? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking, like, you're such a wealth of information. Are you subscribed to, like, newsletters? Or
I subscribe to multiple newsletters. Okay. There's people that I follow in groups on Facebook that I follow. I keep in touch with, like, the travel agents. Sometimes we'll get info, and a lot of times they forward it to me. Or, you know, friends of mine who either work there or used to work there, if they get some kind of inside, they pass it on to me. It's a lot of reading. And people laugh, but I'll bet you I spend an hour a day just reading, because new things are always happening. Something new's coming up. And just...
you're connected to people there too, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. As I said, because wherever you can get the information that's going to help you, which helps me to help my clients, I want them to have the absolute best time.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I can tell. Like, when you talk about it, it's you're smiling just, like, thinking about helping people. And I think that for someone who's planning a Disney vacation to the happiest place on earth, you want to work with somebody who's going to prep them and get them excited and have them have the best time that they can.
Yeah. And one of the things that I do for my clients is an itinerary, and I call it the game plan. Okay. And so it's each day I give the order to do things. As I had mentioned before, I don't do a schedule. It's not 10:15 you're here, 10:40 you're here. It's just a general order because, as I say, schedule begins with stress, S as does stress. And I don't want people to have stress, and that schedule works, and people don't feel pressured that they have to be at certain places at certain times. And that makes people more relaxed. And they also like, oh, I know what I have to do. I had a client who arrived a little bit later in the park than they initially planned. And she said, it was great. I knew exactly where to start and what order. So even if you get a little bit later than what we're hoping for you to be there, she knew I'd just start doing this order because the order is the difference.
What is one of the biggest misconceptions about planning a trip to Disney, and maybe to take that a step further, about working with you? Maybe kind of the twofold.
Yeah. Some people think, oh, I don't need to work with you. I can do it all myself. And that goes back to time. Also, as I've talked about the dining, those dining reservations start at 6:00 in the morning. And, I don't know what most people's schedule are at 6:00 in the morning. It's either sleeping, probably starting to get ready to go to work or get everybody in your household out the door, or you are working out. That might be your one time for working out. And, maybe one day doesn't matter, but you're like, okay, it also makes a difference what order to make the reservations in, because of the fact that some are more popular than others. The other thing is the fast passes, the ride reservations. Those are at 7:00, and normally most people by 7 are in full swing for getting moving in the morning. You're not doing that. I've got it. And as soon as I make, whether it's the dining reservations or the ride, I shoot an email to the client saying, okay, this is what we got for you.
So you make those reservations?
I make those reservations.
Wow.
I take care of the dining room. They've picked what they want. I make the reservations for them. The rides, again, we're gonna pick the 3 busiest ones so that we can get them onto those rides, and then they can do what they call standby for the rest of them.
So this is a full service planning.
Absolutely. I've had people refer to it as concierge service.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like like you pretty much do everything except like take them to the airport. It sounds like.
Yeah. And the other part, big part is...
Which I'm sure you would if they wanted you to.
If somebody really needed that, I probably would work that into it. Yeah. But Disney has a great app out there called the My Disney Experience app. It's right on your phone. That becomes your livelihood while you're in the parks. And I teach people how to use it. Okay. Because there is so much information on that. I could do a tutorial for an hour and you still wouldn't have everything on that app. The big thing is keeping track of, your dining, your rides. The biggest thing though on that is the wait times. You no longer have to, I think of like Magic Kingdom. if you're over in Tomorrowland at Space Mountain, you don't have to send somebody or run over to the other side of the park to see how long the wait is for Splash Mountain. You pull out your phone. Oh, this is great. Another thing which I tell people who have young kids, it also shows you where the nearest restroom is to you.
Yeah.
Because children always wait till the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. You can see right away, okay, where's the closest one?
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite part of Disney?
I love watching the people.
Yeah.
And I love seeing and creating what I call a magical moment. And that can be, I had one client who, she was there with her son, daughter-in-law, and the 2 grandkids, and they were at Chef Mickey. And Mickey comes running, Mickey comes walking up, and the one grandson runs up to Mickey, gives him a big hug, and says, "Oh, Mickey, I love you so much." Or I had a client whose daughter, still, we don't know what, obsessed with seeing Gaston. Well, she wanted to see Belle, but she was obsessed about seeing Gaston. And we know that at Magic Kingdom, you can meet and greet and see Gaston. Mm-hmm. And so she got to see Gaston, and she was just like all kinds of thrilled. And after she saw him, she goes running to her mom. She goes, "Oh, Mom, I love you so much." I can't make those things happen. I can only set up the possibilities for them. Mm-hmm. And that's what I try to do. And when I hear those things, I just get all teary-eyed and I just smile. It just makes me, I love it. Yeah. That's what I want every single one of my clients to come back and have had a magic moment. Because that's what makes it. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Disney character?
Cruella.
And why? Like, why is Cruella your favorite?
I don't know. I just have always loved Cruella. It's not like I'm a fur person, because I'm not a fur person. And it's obviously
You're not a mean person
either.
either.
No. And I love dogs.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about how she did what she wanted to do. And I look at that. That's kind of, doing it. I'm doing what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And she just has a way. She kind of carries stuff. But, I guess, in the end, good triumphs over it. But, know.
Yeah. Interesting. So, we're sitting here in your dining room, and we're surrounded by all these Disney photos and like movie moments. Like, how do you collect them? Where do you, are these gifts? Like, where do all of these memorabilia come from?
Most of what you're seeing, the lithographs, which are along the top, Disney, years ago when they first started, when, VHS, if you pre-ordered, you would get 3 to 4 lithographs that would come, and they were obviously stills from the pictures. And many years ago, my mom would take them and she'd get them all matted for me. Oh, okay. And I'd get, some for Christmas, birthday, anniversary. And so that's kind of been growing. And then they stopped doing it for a while. Then they, fortunately, a few years back, they went back to it. So I've been getting them for the newer movies. So working on that. And I just, kind of keep adding on as the movies keep coming out. There's a couple, the posters like this one, or for the 25th anniversary at Magic Kingdom. Those when I saw the posters, I just wanted to have them. Yeah. So I brought them and framed them. Yeah. There's also special, like I have limited edition original cells. There's a Giclée I have, and there's a picture I got a year ago down at Epcot. They do an arts festival. Okay. So it's a print that an artist had done. And she was there, so she autographed it for me. Wow. So, and then I came home and had it matted and framed. When something really jumps out at me, I get that, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's more limited. The pin sets, again, I like the villains, because I think that sometimes there's... You got to see the little bit of bad to enjoy the good, I think.
Yeah.
My husband loves Haunted Mansion. That's always been his favorite thing, so that's why I have that one.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, and as I said, there's, certain figurines and things like that I've gotten. Most of those are Corella. I do have the one item in there was a ornament of Cinderella's carriage there. And
Okay, yeah.
that was a gift from a client.
Okay. Cool.
Clients have, sometimes it's them giving me just
Yeah,
a little
just a
something
thank you.
as a thank you
Yeah.
to let them know they were thinking of me. But as I said, I know it's all around me, but I
Yeah.
don't kind of see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's just part of me, part of the house.
Yeah. So, how can people find you on your website and online social media? Tell us how we can contact you.
Okay. I have Facebook. You can find me under A Walk in the Park with Colleen. My website is awalkintheparkwithcolleen.net. I'm also on Instagram, and that's with just Walk in the Park with Colleen, because the A in the beginning was too many letters. You can find me over on LinkedIn. Again, A Walk in the Park with Colleen.
Okay.
So the website, Facebook, and LinkedIn are all A Walk in the Park with Colleen.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll be sure to include all of those links in our show notes, as well as pictures of where we're at, and you can see some of the memorabilia that we're talking about today. So thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait I hope that people listening, if they're considering a Disney vacation, I hope they reach out to you, and hopefully you'll be able to help them plan that.
Well, thank you for the time. I've really enjoyed this, and as I say, I'm just looking for everyone to have a great time at Disney.
Awesome. Thanks, Colleen.
Okay, thank you.
That was Colleen Parisi, owner and founder of A Walk in the Park with Colleen. To plan your Disney vacation, visit awalkintheparkwithcolleen.net or visit our show notes at workinglunchpod.com for more information. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. We're at Working Lunch Pod. And if there's someone who you would like to be featured as a guest, email us at workinglunchpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to Working Lunch. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. And remember, your biggest strength is who you are.